I find it's only fair that I do at least one recording a week. So here it is. I'm doing something extremely boring. When the night sets, this area up here creates a lot of monsters. So instead of having a mountain that they all seem to fall right off of, I'm going to level the mountain. Yay, how boring. So, let's see. But while I do that, let me talk about something fun. There was a concept I heard that was interesting, worth pondering at least. Hard to believe since it's, well, hard to fathom, but it's not impossible. Multiple dimensions. You know, everyone's like, hey, you know, it's this reality where you instead decide not to have peanut butter on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and suddenly you get a whole new dimension, and they keep splitting from each other like a nuclear reaction. But I'm actually talking about phases. Apparently, there's a frequency that atoms vibrate at, which creates a frequency. And the majority of them all seem to stick into one dimension, which is the one we exist in. But supposedly, I've heard some stuff that's like, interesting idea. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. And that is that the Greys and the aliens and all the shit that we hear about the supernatural and blah 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 is actually, and possessions and Satans and demons, they are actually in a different dimension, but they're all here, which means they're all on Earth. Whatever Earth looks like in another dimension, just they're here. So I'm like, well, that's interesting. It kind of explains quite a few things. Like, well, it doesn't explain the radiation problem with crashed spaceships. But spaceships crashing would probably because they, I don't know, maybe their phase generator fails and they get kicked off into this dimension, and things just don't quite work like they should because it's not built for that, you know, and they crash. But you know, that's one thing. The other thing is the creature comforts of what you'd expect. And you know, if this civilization is so far advanced, then wouldn't they have the best lazy boy as a captain chair in this spaceship? Instead of just some carved out chunk of, I don't know, chrome, which is chair-like. And when was the last time you saw an alien wearing clothes? But that's another thing. Hence my little beliefs like, hey Adam, hey Eve, why are you wearing clothes? We're naked! Hence God himself was naked and he didn't see the point of clothing. So, but you know, tree of good and evil solved that. Imagine if they ate from the tree of life, whether we'd actually die anymore, or whether we'd be just gods. But that'd be pretty sad, because it'd be a massive war over Unga and Kachunka for the battle of who owns the rights for round things like wheels. So, but, you know, it's something to ponder. Another dimension they slip in and out of, which means that they're already here. So if they're already here, they must be either not threatened by us or peaceful. So I'm actually going with the non-threatened, because the idea of sitting in a different dimension, not affected by the reality of, well, what we know as life, that's interesting. But I'm like, well, the other thought was like, well, I think, you know, what if everything evolved from this dimension and they just evolved to sentientness and then slipped off into a different dimension and saying, hey, we have, oh, I can't call a word, it's a religious word saying that they've ascended, that's the word I'm looking for. They ascended to godhood, and they just stepped out of this world going, whatever wars are here, we stepped away. So I'm like, well, that may explain a few things, like, but it's like they don't have the technology from the pyramids to do that. I mean, they would see real technology, some advanced stuff, you know, a structure that would, you know, people just disappear and never exist anymore when you get too close. But no, we don't have that. We just have these large rock-like things. I'm like, well, what if they are there? And what if they are watching? And they're like, well, this society is advancing a little too fast. We find it threatening in another 10,000 years. Let's do something about it. So they wiped out the pharaohs of the Egyptians, or they, sank the city of Atlantis. They're just puppets going, yeah, that's too close to home. Let's sink the place. So it's kind of fun to play with these thoughts. I'm sure they can wander off into the weeds of stupidity, but another dimensional creature, which, as the propaganda goes, has already infiltrated the military, has already infiltrated our governments, or all governments, I guess. Why would they just stop at one? Well, we are the world power, supposedly. But it's like, possession? I mean, if it's possession, then, assuming these alien ships come out of another phase of Earth, they're physical form. So how do you possess someone by having a physical form? That's like a teleporter accident. You had two people mushed together, their atoms smashed, and instead of blood, you're getting like crystallized silicon and carbon instead of actual, whatever is supposed to be there. So, anyways, and it's not like we've seen skeletons where there's like two bone structures mashed together. So you've got this 3-foot tall skeleton that's crossing, its ribs with a human hip bone. Well, it doesn't exist, or at least not that we can see. It'd be interesting to see that, but that would mean that someone can phase into this world right in the middle of another person. Yeah, kind of messy if you ask me. Hell of a way to go. But no, it's hard to believe. There's don't know of any evidence of. Well, actually, I really don't know how you'd identify someone phasing in and out. But anyways, it's an idea to play with. Ideas of possibilities. But then again, I absolutely enjoy just the weirdness of just daydreaming off into the oblivion. So, game related. Pistons are a cute idea, but turned out to be an extremely simple answer how to resolve the problem with this. And that's just to punch a hole through it and then block everything else and just swing your sword from it. So it's a little unfair, but then again, so's a, oh hey guys, I guess I'm not going to be taking that down. But, so's a slaughterhouse. It's not like a cow has a chance to survive, impress the factory owners with tap dancing or singing or anything. It's a slaughterhouse. Relentless, mindless, uncaring, seeking only one objective: murder. And there we go. So with it down here and all these things still alive, ha! As you can see, my level's actually pretty high, and since I figured out you just punch a hole in it and block everything else, it seems quite easy. So it's good to finally have a point in this game where I can actually harvest experience. So blah 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 blah. Ah, finally decided to join us. Thank you for joining us, soon to be dead guy. Yay! Now the problem comes with all the bone that I'm getting, with all the bone meal that I'm getting. It seems like all my chests are filling up. And I really have no other projects to play with, so this mineral this rock is piling up. Gravel, of course, is very, very useful. That's how you make the flint, as I've done it before. Gravel, 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 gravel. Gravel, gravel, gravel. Where is it? I know it's here. There it is. Anything else? Everything else is stone. So I guess this is Lost Web Child, and this is mid-July episode. So I don't know. Last week I was just a mad poster. I can't imagine anyone getting through, but I posted within a week all the things I did post. But yeah, I'm probably going to slow down a lot. I do enjoy talking about just random stuff, epiphanies, ideas. Although I do have a drinking problem. No, actually, I don't have a drinking problem. I have a stopping problem. I drink just fine. It's the stopping part I've got a problem with. So I'm just going to start cutting back, and my episodes are going to be boring because I won't be saying stupid shit. And voila. Let's see. And anyone can post any ideas what I should be doing or what I could do to entertain, but who hasn't bought this, or who hasn't bought it, gotten a hold of a cracked version of the game? So, anyways, probably going to switch over to hardcore because that's actually a challenge. Objectives are pretty clear. This game I'm using to, I guess, educate myself on how to survive and thrive, to quote Paul Soares Jr. But just physically get it into my fingers, get it into my mind of what I really need to be doing. And leveling off a mountain is not what I need to be doing. I need to be, well, kinda is. I need to be gaining levels. And then with the levels, there's apparently all sorts of good stuff that can be made. And I just have not had luck to find it. Oh, well, since we're on aliens, we might as well talk about space and space concepts. How do we go from here to Star Trek? Well, we gotta get off and into the orbit. That's the big key right there. And right now it's very expensive. It's $10,000 per pound to get into space. So a 200-pound man is $2 million. And let me check my financial advisor. He says I'm still broke. So my financial advisor, aka my pocket, which is where I keep my money, is empty. So it says fresh out of millions. Therefore, I'm not going to space anytime soon. Conspiracy theory says that the creatures in the opposing dimension, the aliens and all the rest, are planning to attack and overcome and destroy humanity. And what solution do I have? Well, none really. And the muckety-mucks at the top, supposedly the theory is that they're willing to let the massive main cities where a lot of people live, like Singapore and Hong Kong and New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles, all just get wiped out because of that. It's oh yay! It's a Girl Scout! Yay! They're dying to sell cookies. Da-dunch. Oh shit! Food level. So the theory's still out there, and a lot of people believe it, that mankind, we're overpopulated and we're uncontrollable, and all it takes is to diminish a lot of us out. And I've heard about a Australian flu of some kind that will actually destroy a massive population. But that just seems so, we'll wipe out whoever dies. And that does not sound like a very well planned out idea. It's just like, natural selection is nice and all, but if we're really going to make the best use of the next 50 years, we're going to have to select which part of society dies, and it's going to have to be the bottom half. And where do you draw the line? And that's the disturbing part. You know, people think about getting rid of all the tax eaters, the ones that they see welfare and unemployment as a viable career opportunity. Yeah, get rid of them. Unless there's something they bring to society, and I'm not talking entertainment, because anyone can entertain. And it's just like there's a million flavors out there. If the flavor you don't like is not out there, eventually you'll just find something you're happy with. Like, I play games. Is it exciting? Well, it works, I guess. It's not something I just crack out on. You know, it's like, it's nice. But anyways, so I don't think entertainers are really on that list unless you are one of those, icons where it's like, I don't know, Robin Williams to me is an icon. But that's just me. Someone else could be like, what are you talking about? It's Chris Rock. But then again, it gets down to the flavors, and it worries me. It's like, okay, who's making the decision is going to be the major point. So it's just like, well, if you've got some idiot dictator who's hell-bent on religion and is going to listen to his preacher, they're going to kill people based on which rock you were born next to. And that's wrong. Because back in the day, society was a solid. As in, you were born in a village, you're going to die in that village, and hopefully there isn't a drought that wipes out the village. If there is, you pack up and move, and hopefully you don't die on your trip out. And then later, society became more like water. They left the villages, they went into cities, and Houston, we got a negative on that re-entry. Please try again, circle around. Saying something I can't remember. Who decides it's going to be freaky? Religion is not going to be good to base it on. Hopefully we can pick something. School, I've seen people with, master's degrees. And it's, they can consume a lot of knowledge, but can they apply it? And I've got, one of my bosses has a master's degree. Awesome person, he's a family man, and just the fact of knowing so much in business with a master's degree doesn't do anything for him. He doesn't apply it. But how do you apply it? I don't know. I don't have a master's degree. So it's like if you base it on education, it's like, okay, so these people can consume knowledge and spit it back, but they can't apply it. That's great. That's like the difference between a theorist who they come up with ideas, and an actual engineer which has to take physics and electronics and all the rest and make it real, make it happen, and make it profitable, which is not exactly an easy thing. And a lot of times a lot of evil happens just to make a profit. So that's kind of concerning. It's like, oh, here we have a school situation. I'll call it a school-like environment where it's like you are just going to be there and you're paid by the school to create things, and they're going to discover the patents, and then the school's going to make money on the patent based on you because they paid your wage and you've got no choice, but you'll get the recognition but not the financial profits from it. At least that's how I understand it. But anyways, I think I've gone off in the weeds. Fusion. 100 years from now, we'll probably have fusion figured out, if we haven't wiped ourselves out like a bunch of overpopulating rats or mice. So it's like we need population control. That's a discouraging thing, because it's like, well, Republicans will kill Democrats, Democrats will kill Republicans. Well, actually, I don't think Democrats will kill Republicans. They'll set up all these niceties, and then somehow when Republicans come in charge, Democrats disappear. It's like cows and cowboys, So anyways, I hate those little damn things. Eat door, bitch. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. No, I don't want any of damn Girl Scout cookies. And no, just because you're in a plaid outfit doesn't make you sexy. So shut up. You're not the mother. You're just a pimp. Pimp trying to hustle those Girl Scout cookies. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm thinking that's going to be it. So thank you. 1 second as I figure out what episode this is actually going to be end up being. So this is actually going to be 23. So thank you for watching 23, and bitch, gotta go. Run! Why are you not running? Fuck you, Ender. Fuck you, huh? What you gonna do, huh? Yeah, I know I'm being a coward. Fuck you, I'm still alive. Anyways, that's it. This is Lost Web Child. Thank you for listening to my babbles and my wild, misguided ideas. Love to hear opposing ideas. And that's about it. Catch you later.